You've probably heard that drinking water first thing in the morning is one of the healthiest habits you can adopt. And in many ways, that's absolutely true. But there's something not many people discuss. Morning hydration can actually be harmful if it's done improperly. That might sound surprising. After all, it's just water, right? But the reality is, as we age, our bodies don't react the way they used to. What felt great in your 30s or 40s might not sit well in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's simply because your body now requires a bit more attention and care. Think about it. You've lived a full life. Your heart, your kidneys, your digestive system. They've all been through a lot. When you wake up in the morning, your body's in a sensitive state. Hormones are shifting, blood pressure is stabilizing, your stomach and muscles are just beginning to activate. If we don't treat that time gently, even something as basic as drinking water can have negative effects. In this video, we'll explore 5 common mistakes people often make when drinking water first thing in the morning. Most people aren't even aware they're doing them. But by the end, you'll not only know what to avoid, you'll feel more confident in how to support your body during those critical first moments of the day. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more helpful tips like these. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Mistake number 1, drinking water too quickly or in large gulps. We've all been there. Waking up feeling parched, reaching for that glass of water and chugging it down like it's the most satisfying thing in the world. It feels refreshing, especially when your mouth is dry and you just want to get it over with. But here's the catch. Drinking water too fast, especially right after waking, can actually disrupt your body's natural balance. And most people don't even notice it happening. When you first wake up, your body is still transitioning from a state of rest. Your heart rate is gradually increasing, your blood pressure is adjusting, and your digestive system is just beginning to restart. Everything is finding its rhythm again after several hours of sleep. So when you suddenly pour a full glass of water into your system all at once, it can overwhelm rather than help. That quick influx of water can cause your stomach to expand too fast, leading to bloating, nausea, or even a lightheaded, dizzy feeling. Some people experience a fluttering sensation in their chest and have no idea why. But it's not the water itself that's the problem. It's the speed and volume. When you drink too quickly, your body doesn't have enough time to absorb and regulate the intake. The kidneys go into overdrive trying to process the sudden load, and your electrolyte levels can shift too fast. For older adults whose systems are more delicate, this can throw off your balance for the rest of the morning. Here's the takeaway. Your body doesn't need a waterfall first thing in the morning. It needs a gentle stream. Sit up, breathe, sip slowly, and let your system ease into the day. It's not a race. It's a quiet act of self-care. If you've been chugging your water just to get it over with, try slowing down tomorrow. Notice how your body responds. Sometimes the simplest shifts bring the most meaningful results. Mistake number 2, drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. Let me ask you, have you ever taken a big gulp of icy water first thing in the morning, only to feel your stomach tighten or a chill shoot through your chest? Maybe you even felt a bit dizzy or ended up with a headache. Most people brush it off or blame it on something else. But here's the truth. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach can actually shock your system, especially when your body's not ready for it. When we sleep, our bodies enter a restful, restorative mode. Everything slows down. Our organs, our digestion, even our blood vessels become a little more constricted. Then morning arrives, and instead of easing our bodies gently into the day, we hit them with a blast of freezing water. That's like slamming the brakes on a car before the engine's fully warmed up. This sudden cold can cause your stomach muscles to tense up, your blood vessels to tighten further, and your body to snap into a stress response. And as we get older, our systems take longer to recover from that kind of sudden jolt. Back in your younger days, a cold glass of water might have felt invigorating. But as we age, things change. Metabolism slows, circulation becomes more sensitive, and our internal thermostat just doesn't manage extremes like it used to. So what once felt refreshing can now feel harsh, even harmful. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a sharp 76-year-old who used to swear by her morning glass of ice water straight from the fridge. She said it cleared her throat and gave her a wake-up boost. But then she started noticing her hands felt colder, her stomach cramped, and her digestion dragged through the morning. It wasn't until her doctor suggested switching to room temperature water that things started to shift. Within a week, she felt calmer in the mornings, her stomach relaxed, and that uncomfortable tightness disappeared. That small change, letting water sit out for a bit or using lukewarm water, made all the difference. It's a gentle reminder. Just because something worked for us before doesn't mean it always will. Our bodies have carried us for years. They've earned a little more kindness. The least we can do is give them water that doesn't feel like a shock to the system first thing in the morning. So if your morning habit includes a cold glass of water, consider trying it at room temperature for a few days. You might be pleasantly surprised by how much better your body feels and how much smoother your mornings begin. Mistake number 3, drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach right after taking medication. Let's take a moment to think about your typical morning. You wake up, take your medication, and follow it with a glass of water. Sounds like the right thing to do, right? After all, doctors usually say to take your pills with water. But what's often not explained clearly is how much water to drink, when to drink it, and whether you should have food in your system. And that little detail, it can make a big difference. Here's what can happen. Drinking a large amount of water too quickly on an entirely empty stomach, especially right after taking your medication, can lead to nausea, bloating, or even heartburn. It may irritate your stomach lining or interfere with how your body absorbs the medicine. On the other hand, if you've just had a heavy breakfast and then washed down your pills with a big glass of water, you could be blocking the effectiveness of certain medications that are supposed to be taken on an empty stomach. Your digestive system is more sensitive than we often realize, especially in the morning when it's still waking up. Hormones are shifting, acidity levels are adjusting, and everything is trying to find its rhythm. So when you toss in a handful of pills followed by a full glass of water, your body might just push back with a, "Whoa, I wasn't ready for that." Let me share Margaret's story. She's 80, vibrant, and has been on thyroid medication for years. Every morning she followed the same routine. Take the pill, drink a big glass of water, wait a bit, then have breakfast. But out of nowhere, she started feeling nauseous. No changes in her medication, no new foods. Even her blood work looked normal. Yet the queasiness wouldn't go away. Eventually, her doctor asked about her water routine, and that's when they figured it out. She was simply drinking too much water, too quickly, too soon after taking her pill. Her stomach couldn't handle the overload, so she made one small change. Instead of downing a full glass, she took just a few small sips, enough to comfortably swallow the pill. Then she waited about 45 minutes before eating breakfast. The nausea disappeared. Her next round of blood work? Even better than before. That tiny adjustment helped her medication work more effectively and made her mornings much more comfortable. So here's the takeaway. Listen to your body after taking your meds. If you're feeling nauseous, foggy, or just off in the mornings, don't automatically assume it's the medication or just your age. It might be the way you're taking it, especially when it comes to water. Try smaller sips. Don't rush to eat right away. Avoid flooding your stomach. Give your body the space it needs to adjust. Sometimes it's not about doing something completely different. It's about doing the same thing with a little more care. Mistake number 4, drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. This one might catch you off guard, especially if you're someone who likes to keep a water bottle next to the bed. It's convenient, easy to grab, and feels like a smart habit. But here's something many people don't consider. Drinking from plastic bottles that have been sitting out overnight, especially in a warm room, can introduce unwanted chemicals into your water, and ultimately, your body. Even if the water looks crystal clear, the plastic it's sitting in might be slowly releasing substances into it over time. One of the major concerns is a compound called BPA, commonly found in older or lower-grade plastics. And even if your bottle says BPA-free, many of those plastics still contain similar chemicals that can behave in the same disruptive ways. When exposed to heat, even the warmth of a cozy bedroom, these chemicals can start to leach into the water. They're called endocrine disruptors, meaning they can interfere with or mimic the hormones your body naturally produces. And as we get older, our hormonal systems tend to be a bit more sensitive. If you're managing thyroid issues, blood pressure, or blood sugar levels, these added chemicals can subtly make it harder for your body to stay balanced. You might not notice symptoms right away, but over time, people often report feeling more sluggish, moody, bloated, or just not quite right, and they can't always figure out why. Let me tell you about Stanley, a 78-year-old who took pride in staying hydrated. Each night, he'd fill a plastic bottle with tap water and leave it on his nightstand to sip in the morning. It felt like a healthy routine. But after a few months, he noticed frequent headaches, weird digestion, and low energy, even after a good night's sleep. His diet hadn't changed. His doctor couldn't find anything out of the ordinary. Eventually, a nutritionist asked about his water habits. That's when they figured it out. The plastic bottle, it was being reused and left near a warm lamp overnight. He switched to a glass bottle and made sure to pour fresh water each morning instead of reusing old water. Within a few weeks, Stanley's headaches faded, his energy improved, and he finally felt like himself again. Now let's be clear, one sip from a plastic bottle isn't going to harm you. But if it's a daily habit over weeks or months, it can gradually take a toll. Your liver, your kidneys, your hormonal systems, they all have to process these added stressors. And as we age, our bodies need us to be just a bit more mindful. So if there's a plastic bottle sitting by your bed right now, it might be time for a small upgrade. Consider switching to glass or stainless steel and refill it with fresh water every morning. It's a small shift, but one that could bring your body a little more comfort and care. Mistake number 5, skipping breakfast and replacing it only with water. Let's be real, there's a lot of health advice floating around these days, and not all of it is right for everyone. You might have heard suggestions like, just drink water in the morning, skip breakfast, let your body keep fasting. And sure, that might work for younger folks or people following strict routines. But for older adults, starting the day with just water and skipping food entirely can slowly drain your energy without you even realizing it. Think about it. By morning, your body has already gone 8 to 10 hours without food. Your blood sugar is low, your energy stores are limited, and your brain and muscles are hungry for fuel. Drinking only water might feel okay for the first hour or so, but as the morning wears on, many people start to feel weak, foggy, irritable, or shaky. It's easy to blame stress or poor sleep, but often the real issue is simple. You haven't eaten. Water is essential. It rehydrates your cells, but it can't provide the nutrients your body needs to think, move, and function well. And if you follow that water with coffee and nothing else, you're stimulating your body without giving it any foundation to stand on. Over time, that imbalance can make mornings feel harder than they should. Let me tell you about Alice, age 69, independent and sharp. She wanted to streamline her mornings and decided to try intermittent fasting. So she stopped eating breakfast and stuck to only water until noon. Then she noticed a bit of weight loss and thought it was working. Turns out there was no major health issue. The problem was that Alice's brain was running on empty. Once she reintroduced a simple breakfast, just a boiled egg, a slice of toast, a bit of fruit, her clarity returned. Her energy steadied. She felt like herself again. That tiny change made a big difference. So here's the takeaway. Don't confuse less with better, especially when it comes to your morning nutrition. Yes, water is crucial, but so is real nourishment. A little protein, a bit of fiber, something to anchor you. That could be a handful of nuts, some oatmeal, a small smoothie, nothing fancy. Just enough to support your brain, muscles, and mood. And as we age, something as familiar as water starts to affect us differently. Not because it changed, but because we did. Our bodies are wiser now, more sensitive, and they ask us to tune in more closely than before. That's what this whole conversation is about. It's not about fear or rigid rules. It's about awareness. Learning to notice the small habits that quietly shape how we feel every day. Because when your mornings feel off, when you're bloated, lightheaded, anxious, or cloudy, it doesn't always mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes your routine just needs a small, gentle tweak. Maybe tomorrow, instead of reaching for ice-cold water first thing, you try it at room temperature. Maybe you take slower sips instead of rushing. Maybe you stop reusing that old plastic bottle and use a clean glass one instead. Or maybe, just maybe, you enjoy your water with a little breakfast, giving your body the strength it's quietly asking for. If something in this message made you pause, reflect, or reconsider your own routine, that's a wonderful thing. It means you're still growing, still learning, still choosing to care for yourself. And that mindset, it's powerful. Thanks for spending this time with me. I hope you'll try just one of these changes tomorrow and see how you feel. Your body is wise. It'll tell you when something's working. And if this helped you, consider sharing it with someone you care about, a friend, a neighbor, even a sibling. You never know who else might need a small nudge toward feeling better.